from all around your lawn. I'm here to tell you how football is strong. We're the best. Bounce the ball.
Good morning and welcome to the 2011 Grand Final Footy Show. Boy, are we excited. It's finally come around. It's Grand Final Day in the GDFL 2011. Big games on this afternoon at St Albans Park, and boy, are we excited, including a live telecast of the, that was Smithy's hand going across there, a live telecast of the game too on Digital 44, Channel 31. It's going to be fantastic. And of course, there it is, Channel 31. Absolutely sensational this afternoon. Groundbreaking technology, folks. You'll be absolutely mind-boggled by it all. But last week, of course, it was preliminary final day, and the East Geelong Eagles too good for Inverleigh, and 15-16, 106 defeating the Inverleigh Hawks, 8-10-58. Lucas Murphy, the century goal kicker from the East Geelong Eagles, booting 7 goals, and Johnny Ansell 4 goals as well. Looking forward to Lucas Murphy this afternoon for East Geelong having a great afternoon. Hello, I am Dick Philpott for the very last time this year, and once again I've assembled some of the biggest names and brains in local football to commentate, eradicate, adjudicate, and definitely not procrastinate on Grand Final Day. He is the Bannockburn legend and getting very excited about going out this morning to watch his Bannockburn Tigers take on the North Geelong Magpies. Good morning, Dale Smith.
Morning, Dick. Looking forward to the entire day, actually, and it starts very shortly, so must get through this and get out there.
Oh, I'm very excited. I love Grand Final Day, nothing like it, especially the lunch and the half-time. And of course, the man who needs absolutely no introduction, he's the king of the kids. He's been doing this show for 100 years now, Jason Doherty. Morning, Jason.
Good morning, Richard. How are you?
Oh, very well, thanks, mate. You're getting excited. You've done a few of these Grand Finals, and they just get more exciting every year.
They do. There's a few that stand out over the years, but it should be a cracker today. East Geelong Bell Post Hill, the two best teams by far for the season, so great to see them in the big one.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to kick off with the interview shortly, but I'll tell you what, before I'll introduce my friend beside me here, this is the original Werribee Duck, Grubby Cations. Have a look at him. Got Grubby written right down his chest there. And of course, beside me is the GDFL Smiths Holden Premiership Cup, which they're all playing for this afternoon at 5 o'clock today. It'll either be the East Geelong Eagles or the Bell Post Hill Panthers. To kick off the show, we've got an interview we did last weekend at the preliminary final at the East Geelong Inverleigh game. It's the chairman of selectors from the East Geelong Eagles, Tom Perrott, and here's Cal Lowther with Tom.
Tom, well done today. You got on top of them early and you're able to keep up the pressure as the game wore on.
Yeah, we felt, look, after coming in and watching them play last Sunday, we felt that if we, got a good start, we could try and maybe crush them early and go on with the job. And, obviously, it's good to put together 4 quarters this week. Last week we weren't so flash against Bell Post, so, we went this week. The focus was about redeeming ourselves, and hopefully we get another chance to do that, obviously, next week.
Yeah. Obviously, it worked out that few players were a bit sore and injured, and you sort of got into them early and made sure that you worked them over a bit, and their midfield weren't able to keep up with yours.
Yeah, we felt, look, if we brought some physicality to the game with some older experienced players and some bigger bodies, that were able to perhaps maybe knock them off the footy and and maybe obviously provide ourselves with a bit more forward entries and all those types of things. So we just backed ourselves in. We needed more intensity at the contest. There wasn't enough intensity last week. We know that wasn't good enough, and like we said, we came out here today hoping to get ourselves another crack at Bell Post Hill, and we've obviously got that now.
Yeah, and just finally, Ryan Closter and Lucas Murphy worked very well today, and to kick 7 in a prelim's a good effort.
Yeah, the boys did really well. Hopefully, like we said, hopefully they can do the same thing next week. It's all about building up, and we'll go home today and start our rehab and get ourselves right and get firing, and hopefully get ourselves a good result next week. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and just finally, do you think next week there'll be some different sort of game stuff, or you just keep to the same structures that you've gone with all year?
Oh, you never know, mate. You just never know on the day.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Had a great interview there from Cal Lowther, and of course, Cal will probably get some more interviews from the grand final today, but you probably won't have to wait till next year to have a look at them. It's the only problem. You never know what might happen. Anyway, last week's game preliminary final, as we said in the introduction, East Geelong Eagles too good for Inverleigh, and we shouldn't pay a tribute to the Inverleigh Footy Club. Not only did they make the preliminary final in the seniors, but also in the reserves where they went down to Anarchy, and of course Anarchy moved through to the grand final this afternoon. And in the under-18s, the Bannockburn Tigers too good for Inverleigh as well. But fantastic effort by the Inverleigh Hawks in their first year since being reformed as Inverleigh, and the first time the grand final, preliminary final is being reformed as Inverleigh. Great effort indeed, and I'm sure that everybody in Inverleigh Hawks were very proud of their achievement in 2011. But I think we said all year about East Geelong, and it was only a foregone conclusion, perhaps, Dale, that they did make it to the grand final.
Yeah, as Jason said before, they were probably the second best side in the competition all year, and that's the way it ended up. Inverleigh, unfortunately, I think they just ran out of petrol tickets late in the game. Hymans and all the players that you really need to be playing well. Dean Muir, while they weren't poor, as I said, they just didn't seem to have that same step in their spring in their step. That was better. Their spring in their step, as they did the week before. So, look, as I said, they were in the game in the first part of it, but I think as the game wore on, just the strength of East Geelong was just a little bit too much, and they even had the luxury, East Geelong, of taking Scroblack from the ground, Primke from the ground just after half time, and it was good to see the big fella actually go forward, Dick, 'cause he kicked 3 goals, and we've been planning on that or wanting that for some time. East Geelong have got a number of players that can play some really good football come finals time, and I really think this afternoon, depending on how this weather shapes up, the contest might be closer than we first thought.
Jace, very disappointing for Inverleigh, but a great effort to get 3 sides in the preliminary final last week.
Fantastic from where they come from. It's only been 9 or 10 years since they reformed as Inverleigh, so great effort by them to actually play the kids and play the local players that they've got out there, and stick with it for the last couple of years where they've been thereabouts to play finals but haven't quite made it. And this year they've certainly made an imprint on the league, and hopefully they can keep the majority of players from this year and move forward next year. They're not far away. They've shown that they can match it with the top sides, and they keep those types of blokes like James Hybans there on screen, and a couple of others, Muir and Peel and Zach Hickleton, who have been very important for them over the last few weeks. If they can keep them sort of motoring along and pick up a couple more along the way, they're certainly not going to be far away from it again next year if they can keep the core group of players together.
I couldn't get over the amount of support that the Inverleigh Hawks get, Dale. I mean, both games have been a great turn-up from Inverleigh people. They really do the town really does get behind their players, so it's all good for next year, we hope, for the Hawks. Yeah,
look, as I said, they've had a little bit of success this year, and it's not that they don't follow them any other year, Dick, but I suppose they haven't been able to make finals, so you've really seen the amount of people that do come and follow country football, and that's one of the pleasing things. As I said, they've achieved not above themselves. I reckon they were, thereabouts all year. They didn't have too many bad defeats for the whole time of the season, and that's pretty much they showed during the finals football so far. So it looks good. They've got a future out there. As I said, the big thing will be, can they keep this group together? And if they can do that, I've got no doubt that next year they'll, from that experience, will push sides even further.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, we're certainly looking forward to a great day this afternoon. Don't you worry about that. And of course, very shortly, I know Dale will be out there at the under-18s like I will to cheer on the North Geelong Magpies, and I know Dale will speak about that very much so in the next segment. But as we said, we've got sitting on our desk, we've got the Smiths Holden Premiership Seniors Cup, and if we get the pan over to the other side of the boys there, we've got in front of Dale there the under-18s Cup by what's the sponsor's name?
Cryer Bay.
Cryer Bay Health, correct. And of course, Jason, you'd like to tell the people who the sponsor is for the Under-18s Cup?
Some gaming joint out in North. Buckley's.
Very good.
Chairman of.
That'll be the Reserve Cup.
Chairman of the Reserves Cup.
That'll be the Reserves Cup. Yeah. Fantastic. So
best competition.
Some great cups there up for grabs there today, this morning, and this afternoon. It'll be fantastic. We're going to pay some bills for the last time in the first segment, and when we come back, we'll talk everything that's under 18. Back after this.